Hello and a very good day to you. I'm meteorologist Brian Ivy. We're going to try something a little differently with yours truly here, just in the corner of the screen, not taking up as much. This was the Derecho, and quite a major straight line wind event it was, heading out of Iowa through Illinois in towards Indiana, just clipping portions of Michigan and Wisconsin and Missouri. Very potent system, not one of the ones you see a couple times a year. This is the every few year plus type of an event. Very impressive radar imagery with the embedded bow echoes, very damaging winds, very high winds. We're talking 80 to 100 mile per hour winds with this. Over 550 reports of damaging wind, a couple tornadoes touched down. Again, some of those winds did some pretty significant damage. So we'll talk about some of that damage. We'll talk about this event just a tiny bit more, and then go into the forecast side of this. Wow, it had traveled over 700 miles across the area. The Storm Prediction Center did a good job with the moderate risk, pointing out where a lot of those wind reports would be. This was not something that was predicted days in advance, but once we knew something like this was going to happen, everybody in the meteorology community did a good job locking on to the big threat, and it was a threat. Big impacts. I mean, we're killing grain silos over here. Poor farmers. Had significant damage and field loss in the agriculture community with the corn crop and soybeans and whatnot. Unfortunately, also bad because that's one of the main farming areas of the whole country. It was just some really, really big winds. I'm not going to show you too many of the videos. You can look on our Neil Weather Twitter feed and whatnot for some of that, but hurricane and tornado-like winds from that system that moved through. Let's get to the forecast. I'll get out of the way here. You can see that some of the activity will definitely be across portions of the southeast over the next couple of days into the mid-Atlantic. Not too much going on back across the Midwest and into the plains and west of there, but certainly some decent activity right over there across portions of the southeast. Up into the east, this is definitely a threat for New York City and towards portions of Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont as well. And then there's one system that looks to possibly form out across portions of the Dakotas, move through Twin Cities into Wisconsin. Maybe that could be an organized complex of storms. Models aren't in great agreement. They haven't been doing very good. They've been getting into certain patterns and then being wrong about them. So will we be well above average with precip across the southeast and in the mid-Atlantic, or will it be more across portions of maybe the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes into the northeast? It really depends on the model. This model, which is the American model, is like, hey, we're going to move most of the activity up across portions of West Virginia and Ohio, Erie, PA, Buffalo, New York, and then up into portions of New England going through the end of the week. Just kind of a cluster of showers and thunderstorms there, and just very hit and miss across portions like Oklahoma and Jonesboro into St. Louis at that point, and staying pretty dry across much of the west at that point. So it's kind of this wait and see game. A little bit of activity developing on this model across portions of the Ohio Valley there, and then across much of the southeast into the portions of parts of New Mexico in towards the Oklahoma Panhandle as well. So a little bit hit and miss. This is one of the things the models have not been very good with, and our long-range forecasting hasn't been great with. We're not getting into a July-like pattern back across the middle of the country in the east at all. It definitely looks like that western ridge is really going to be a heat dome that's going to pump in some hot temperatures there, but allow for cooler weather across the Mississippi Valley and into portions of the Ohio Valley and even the east as well.